Guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, Everything Everywhere with D. This is the very first episode of the channel. I'm happy to have you here, and I really hope you stick around. Yeah, that's all I have to say. So basically, this episode is kind of going to be like a rant. Yeah, basically, I'm going to be ranting. And if you are the kind of person that likes literature reviews, movie, books, or just commentary overall, this channel is for you. So stick around and find out all. Oh my god, I have goosebumps. I literally have goosebumps. Okay, so this episode, this YouTube video, we'll be reviewing the book Children of Blood and Bone by tomiadeyemi. Yes, Children of Blood and Bone. And this felt like a fitting first episode, kinda. It felt fitting for me to use as a first episode title or subject because I'm a literature girly and it just felt right at the time. I was basically thinking, oh, what should I lead with? I was caught between, commentary on booktok or just the old adaptation shenanigans, which was also related to the book Children of Blood and Bone. So if you guys want me to talk about that, then please you can comment and stuff like that. And this is so weird, this is so awkward. Anyway, so I've literally been hearing so many things about because the book is getting adapted or adapted. I don't know, I've been hearing the two words used sometimes, and there's been some sort of controversy. First of all, people talking about how there's no Nigerian actor, and then like weeks later they just sprinkles RMD and Aya Star in the mix, and I was like, oh my god, I want to see what this is about. I want to read the book. And for those of you who haven't read the book, I'm going to just know that there'll be spoilers. So I'm going to give you a simple rundown and I'm going to say my thoughts or just give like an overall review on the book. And if I think it's really worth the hype or even the trouble at all. And I'm going to give like a plot synopsis, and it's not all that fresh in my head because I was planning on filming immediately after I finished reading, but I fell sick. So I felt sick immediately, like when I was done reading. Make of it as you will. I'm not going to say anything. So the book is I have to settle down for this one. The book focuses on we have three narrators. We have Amari, Inan, and Zele. Zele is the main character, and it follows the setting is in a fictional place that is modeled after, let's say, the Nigerian Yoruba hemisphere, and the place is called Orisha. And in Orisha, there's a discrimination on the diviners or the Ibawi. I'm Yoruba, but I don't even know Re Ibawi. Yeah, because there was no army. So it's like the Ibawi and they are the diviners. And the main character Zele, she's a diviner. She has faced oppression her whole life. Is always hanging like, oh, you are going to, if you don't do this, you are going to end up a slave. Basically, like they call it the stocks, but it's just basically slavery. And then they also oppress other people that help this marginalized set of people. So, and why are they marginalized? Apparently, the diviners, they have they used to have the ability to have what you call this magic. They used to have magic, earth magic. It was basically giving avatar at some point, but and blood magic, all those kind of things, and it's like I've read this thing a long time ago. Like I did not read it last week, and they've lost the magic though. But then before that, there used to be this whole tussle between them and the royal family, where they were trying to reconcile, but they could not reconcile them, and somehow magic got lost, and everybody was killed. Like every magi was killed, and now it's just we now have magicless diviners being oppressed everywhere, and then that leads us to the royal family. So the royal family, we have the king. I've forgotten his name. I don't care for his name. Is this very very controlling man who sees his children as nothing but as tools, Shaz, and hence means to an end. He sees his children as means to an end, and he just does them anyhow, and he basically is the one that sharp perpetrating all these bad things that the diviners are bad people, their magic is bad, and then we find out that there's a chance magic can come back. Magic can come back to the diviners, and they can become magi's, but there's this old scroll, and then somebody is killed because they can become a magi, and that person, sorry if you're not following, and the person now ends up becoming, she's the friend of the princess, and the princess is the second narrator, that is Amari is angry, and for some reason, okay, I don't want to give the OG gist of it, but there's basically like a quest to return magic. And at the end of the book, magic is not returned. It says they failed. Maybe they're going to succeed in the second book. I don't know. I really don't know, but that is like the gist of it. So if I want to summarize it, it's basically a whole story about trying to fight subjugation and discrimination, basically racism. And even the author herself said she wrote it during the times where there was so much heat about this black violence and stuff like that. People dying at the hands, black men dying at the hands of, you know, racist. Oh my god, I should not have done that. Sorry, racist police officers. So when I was reading the book, there were a lot of things going on in my mind. A lot of things were going on in my mind, and I would say I didn't enjoy the book because if you heard my synopsis, no matter how wishy-washy and all over the place it was, you know that this is actually a solid book. It is a solid YA fantasy novel. Yes. But first of all, let me follow a whole what is that? Sorry, I have to cut that part out. Anyway, so basically I don't want to first go into, let me say the truth, I didn't like the book. I didn't like the book, but I want to give a very objective review. I don't want to sound all finicky. I'm just using words anyhow. I don't want to sound, biased. So I'm going to just give my own idea because you know that this book is actually something. It is not rubbish. It is not hot. It is not hot garbage. It's literally getting a film adaptation. So you know that it is something, and that's because this book actually has all the ingredients of a successful YA fantasy. There's magic, there's rebellion, there's oppression. But the thing is, that's all it is because the very unique thing that it offers, that why I stand different from other YA fantasy novels, is that I have a different setting. I'm set in like a Yoruba this thing, and yeah, people will like that. If you're a white person, you're going to love that a lot. You're gonna like, this is actually exotic. You're tired of the old Norwegian, Greek, Roman mythology. Somebody's giving you fresh new mythology that you don't know. It's Yoruba mythology. Like, damn, I'm just learning new things. But if you are Nigerian and if you are Yoruba, this book is a torture device. It is torture. This book is torture. But let me know. I digress. I digress, guys. I digress. So basically, I've not used too much time, have I? Anyway. So basically, this book actually has everything that, good things. What am I saying? The book actually has very interesting things. It is fun to read. That's one thing. The writing is actually beautiful. The writing is good. I'm a writer, and I can't say I can write better than author tomiadeyemi. I can't say that. I can't say that. But there were some times that I was confused with the imagery. Like there was just too much going on. Like there was one time when Amari was describing one Oloye's clothes. They were sitting down at dinner. They were like at a dining table and they were eating. And she was talking about how the woman's robe was glittering. And if you are not, if you don't know what iro is basically like bottoms, like wrapper. So it's a bottom apparel. So if you're sitting at a dinner table, like Mama was literally wearing, I don't know, she was wearing the sun. She was wearing aluminium foil. If you people are sitting at the table, where the table is supposed to be covering where you are, and our hero is literally glittering. Like, ma, did you come to blind all of us? Are we not come? Did we not come to eat? Everybody came to eat. You came to do shine bright like a diamond. Anyway, so that's one thing. The book is good. Nobody is debating that. Nobody is saying the book is not good. But there are a lot of problems. And it just felt like it's hard because it feels like to me the author did not do a due research. Forgive me. She said it at the end that she enjoys researching and studying Yoruba mythology, but it did not show. Forgive me, it did not show. And then I'm going to go into an in-depth explanation of why, because I don't want to sound like a hater. So I'm going to explain. Okay, let's take a pause. Okay. So now, first of all, we want to talk about, before I talk about why the book did not do it for me, I have to talk about the things that were actually stood out in the book. I've mentioned the writing. I also talk about like the cover design. It's beautiful. I have to say that. So kudos to the illustrator, the person who was in charge of the book cover, the person did their job well. Now, I want to now talk about my problem with the book. First of all, we had the arbitrary use of Yoruba language and mythology. Yeah. So first of all, there's something that just confused me in the book. So there was, maybe it's a plot hole, but it just I couldn't even read it because I would read the book and then I'll close the book. I'm like, bro, what does that even mean? You are telling me that we are living in a place, and in that place, Yoruba is a forbidden language. I won't say it's a forbidden language, but it's a lost language because Sally is always talking like, oh, when this person is saying this thing, they're like, oh, speak, Sorosimi, Fito Imole, Kinikon. She's always saying like, oh my god, the dead language, she'll be like, oh yeah, should we interpret it? And they'll be like, oh, this language. I'm like, wow, wow, wow. But then everybody literally has Yoruba names except for the protagonist, and I'm going to get back to that. Everybody literally has Yoruba names. I say everybody genuinely. I'll say everybody does not. It's not everybody that have Yoruba name. I'm just kidding. No, but like literally, Mama Agba, Binta, Abi Bintu. Okay, it's not, but it's a Nigerian name, so okay, I'll let that slide. We didn't actually. We weren't introduced to blind people. But you tell me I very well know that there were people with Yoruba names. I just know it. Okay, that doesn't sound valid again when I but and okay, now let's now go to the fact that our protagonist, what was going on with their name? What exactly was going on with their names? And let's even mind you that the fact that in this place they do not believe in gods, like the royal family, or even at the start, Zele, she was just like, oh, the gods, they died the day the raid happened, and they don't exist. The royal family is championing the fact that gods do not exist. The royal family of a nation called Orisha. Sorry, work with me. The royal family of a nation called Orisha does not believe in God or gods. I'm going to edit it. I'm going to put Orisha in that place and put deity. How can you be? It's just like deity. How can you be? It's just like, damn. Like, it sounds like such a paradox. And then we now go to the name where we have like Zele and Tzen. what language is that? Because I don't know. Maybe it's South Africa. Maybe it's something in the south or east of Africa. But it is definitely, and it's very shocking because you're telling me your mother, the person who birthed you, and when she gave birth to you, especially Zelly, she knew very well because she did not know that the magic was going to be lost. She knew this girl was going to be she thought this girl was going to be like magi, busting incantations and killing innocent people and doing blood magic. And she named her child Zelly. This woman that's supposed to be a champion of the Yoruba language, that she taught another a language that was almost outcast. She named her child Zelly. I mean, if you're not Nigerian now or you're not Yoruba, you're looking like, what is this girl talking about? In the Yoruba language, there's no Z. There is no Z. So how your mother will name you with a letter that is supposed to be practically non-existent, but it's fantasy, guys. It's fantasy. So maybe it's me that's doing too much. So maybe it's just because I'm Yoruba and it's just a pet peeve. So let's leave it at that. But guys, I will raise more valid things because the ones I've been listening, it sounds like it's just the main problem. But guys, don't worry, I will raise valid things. Just I'm sorry, I want to consult my script, but because I'm a broadcast nigga, my camera and my script are looking at me and I need to scroll. I need to scroll. Sorry, thank you. What did I write here? Okay, I said this. Ahem. So there's a part like also what was the author thinking about the nomenclature? Like that was so breezy and I don't have mic. What was the author thinking about nomenclature? Because in one it was just like it was all over the place. I didn't like it at all. I didn't like it at all. So we are in a place where you are calling the chiefs oloyes, but we are calling the princess. Please let's pick one. Let's say chief princess, or what is it called? Or we'll call them oloye and omoba. Let's this is very it was very very inconsistent how they would mix. Okay, like there was no how who is behind the nomenclature. It does not. Okay, imagine, let me use it in a more over this thing. So let's say we are reading a book that's supposed to take place in the west, in the sorry, in the Middle East, and then we have like, oh yeah, the Kadi is going to be, or the Caliph is going to be, reigning over his kingdom. Like, bro, Caliph and kingdom where? Like, you yourself, you know that it's Caliph to Caliphate. So why is it that we're now mixing Oloye and Princess? Please, let's stick to one, like, language. It's just like there was a mix of it and it felt like so arbitrary. Like, there was no logic, just like, oh yeah, it's on a whim. And yes, I get that you are writing, I'm a writer, I do things on whims, but at a point you have to set in a certain structure because you are putting, I couldn't even feel grounded in it because it just felt so flimsy, so finicky, like, oh yeah, it's just like that. It's genuinely, to me, it felt like if my friend, my younger sibling, the one that I seen with like 8 years, was telling me a story, and he was just making the story up along the way and he did not care about the things he had established in the past. Like, what structure are we following? Do we want to say that, okay, the titles are Yoruba or the titles are English? Because we are calling somebody Oloye and Yoruba is a banned language. Like, bro, make it make sense. Bro, make it make sense. Ah, bro. And then we now have to talk about how you say you love, or I won't say you love it. I don't want to lie against her what she did not say, but I know she said something about her studying Yoruba mythology and then she just decided to just wing it. The thing is, obviously it's fantasy, but then you will never see a book where they're like, Zeus, the god of communication and homosexuality. You never see a book like that they'll you to some extent you have to follow a path. But why is it that when it now comes to Yoruba, anybody is the maybe guys almost falling down. Everybody and their mother, they're doing anything they want. In the book, this girl said she made up her own gods. She just started pulling things out of and it just like it hurts me because I'm like, at that point you should have just made your own system that okay kind of felt reminiscent in Yoruba, but it was not rooted in Yoruba mythology. Like, oh, you could have made up your own gods with certain Yoruba words that you made up. If you can do it in English, you should be skilled enough to do it in Yoruba. Even if you can't do it by yourself, you could have gotten help. Okay, but not that you will now be so arbitrary, so flimsy, and then you are picking. Okay, you say here, what do you? Is it Yamaja or who? Ayo, Oya, sorry, I say Oya. Oya is the something of life and death and be kini kon. Like a quick Google search will let you know that Oya, what people even know Oya for is that she's Shango's wife. Oya is not really that like big of a goddess. Sorry. I'm a Christian, and even her I know that Oya is not that big of a goddess. I mean, when I was in secondary school, I be primary school studying Yoruba, they will tell you she's strong, one of Shango's wives. All the goddesses were Shango wives. Shango was just that fine. And if she's actually okay, she's a goddess, but she when you think about her, you think about river. You think about river. Nobody is talking about life and death. Who is she? Who is you mentioned as I'm actually pissed. I'm sorry, I need to consult my before I start going out. So, like, bro, she said, I want to quote it genuinely, I want to quote it. She said this here, Oya, the goddess of life and death. When everybody knows that Oya is the goddess of wind, storms, and the Niger River. Eh? What do you mean? And then we now talk about the fact where, like, also when it's connected to my last point, where it seemed like it was the whole nomenclature was arbitrary because you say. And I think even as a writer, this is something we should not even do. When you're writing fantasy, don't write real places. I think everybody knows that. Maybe the author did this thing because you know their audience, they don't know this place. This place don't exist to them, so it is basically fictional to them. But when you're Nigerian and you hear Calabra, the floating city of Ilorin, bro, and then you're saying that oh the island of Lokoja, the island of one place is over the sea of Lokoja. Like, bro, it is so annoying. It's actually like when you're even trying to get into the book, it just unplugs you, it disconnects you, and just brings you back to reality. That what I'm reading, it's like it was too much. I could not take it serious. For all that is me, I could not take it serious because what do you whoever is adapting it, please don't use Nigerian places. And it was how like she also puts that's another thing. She puts Nigerian places. She did not put Yoruba places. You are writing a story that is reminiscent of the Yoruba culture, Yoruba mythology, even though half of what you wrote actually has nothing to do with Yoruba mythology, but I'll keep quiet. And instead you decide to pick Nigerian places when there was even before Nigeria existed, there was the Yoruba Empire with Oyo, Oshun, Eko. Exactly, like she could not even. I'm angry genuinely. She could not even say Eko. She called it Lagos, bruh. And it just made me think, where in time is this? Like because this is definitely not Nigeria. So where in time is this? Where it just felt so what exactly was I reading? Okay, I need to pause and adjust my read. Sorry. Like bro, where I forgot what I was saying. I took too long. Like where on earth it's not just let me just cut off that thought and then like bro it was just so jarring because when you are reading it when I read I've not been to many places in Nigeria. Okay, I mean I'm Nigerian but I've not been to many places in Nigeria, but I know I've been. Okay, I think the thing that actually seemed the closest to the real thing was like Lagos. But I've been to Lokoja, and Lokoja is definitely not a sea, one ocean. It was just so wishy-washy. It was not enjoyable. It's just, I feel like it just did the bare minimum and just left it at that. It was just pathetic, to be honest. I wanted to give a relatively an objective, right? Bro, is that possible? Like objective review, but I kind of got emotional. That's just how I am. When I was practicing, I was cool headed. I was giving like, look at me now, made a mess of myself, spoiled my wig, forgot what I was saying. But yeah, that's like, and that's not all. Though. That's just like my problem as a Yoruba person. Eh? There's no problem with the book on its own. Like something that even if you are not, even if you are not in any way affiliated to Nigeria or Yoruba, you just okay. I was talking about forget about it. Anyway, you will just feel like this is not my cup of tea with the way this book is. So first of all, we had how the characters had like weak convictions and motivations. When you're a writer and you are making a character, you're writing a book, you have a overall idea of what these characters are, their motivations, the just how they are. And when you're writing them in certain situations, like there are times where I write a particular thing and I'm like, this doesn't look like how my character would have acted in this reaction. This is more of this other's character reaction because you've certainly like you've made a personality of them because you are trying to when you're trying to write a relatable human being on whatever you people are writing nowadays. You're trying to write somebody that the reader can actually interact and relate to. So you actually want them to behave and react like a human being, not like a nuclear reactor. So there are certain characters, but then you look at it, everybody in the book, they were just I don't they were just things were just happening for the sake of plots. Like it didn't seem like anybody even had a this thing of their own. Like, okay, yes, maybe some of them they had some things consistent about them, but it was not even anything that could even link the readers to them. Like for God's sake, I did not like Zele. I did not root for Zele. I was not when she failed in her mission, bro. I did not care because everybody was so wishy-washy. 1 second, Inan started out with magic is bad. Zele started with magic is good. At a point, Zele was saying magic is bad. Inan was saying magic is good. Everybody was just swinging between magic is good, magic is bad. Like, make up your mind. Make up your. I was about to curse. Make up your mind. Like, I did not come and sit down. I did not come and waste my data. Come and source this book out just for you to come and be doing. Oh, magic is good. Magic is not good. Like they did not have and things were just happening. There was no like proper development. Like let's look at it. What is this thing? Um Tizen or Tizen, whatever his name is, Zele's brother. I liked him because he seemed like the most consistent and grounded character. So it seemed like he was the one that stood as the voice of reason. He was one that was grounding his sister. So he was there to they've lost their mother, they're practically far. I don't know how far because it seemed like they were just swinging from Lokoja to Calabar to Ilorin to Mina. Like as if it's this thing. So, and maybe they were not far, but they were not with their father. So it seemed like Zen had this, Tizen, bro, I don't know, had this responsibility or character of being the one to take care of his sister. And he actually stuck pretty close to it, like throughout the whole book. But there was this scene where he says something so disgusting to his sister. I don't know, maybe because I don't have an elder brother. My brothers are younger than me, and God knows none of them will tell me that rubbish. That this boy just wants to get it to your leg. Are you that desperate? Can you come? Can you come? Like I would not have. I have not have sent you to your maker, but God help me. You can't meet your wish and your mother. And it just felt so out of character because yes, in the book you see that Zen kind of acts ash and he has this very strong, he always keeps this foot down and has to have this strong and tough front. But that was not something same with say. Like if bro was a real human being and somebody was like, oh, everything ever we did, you know that this bro said this to his sister, I'll tell you is a lie, shut up, get out. So it just seemed so out of character for him to say something so disgusting about his sister. And then when you now read the following chapters, you now see that that all the what he said led to a fight that led to her harming her brother, and then it now led to a whole conflict about how she feels about magic. So it just felt like, he said that like it felt like the author just sacrificed his character, his whole character and his whole character development just to bring up conflict, just to conjure up conflict. It was not authentic. It was just like, oh, she was trying to follow a formula, bro. I'm hating so bad, like, but I just have to say my mind. I just have to come and rant, bro. So that's another thing that I didn't. And another thing is the characters were making stupid decisions. Like the whole book was grounded in a stupid decision. Yeah. So look at, you find out that your father. It's not even like you find out that your father, you already know since you were a child that your father is a psychopath, genuinely. But then you find out that in there's this artifact that can bring back magic, and it will empower a group of people that your father has been enslaving. Mm? And your father, with that artifact, somehow built up to your best friend dying. Mm? And because of that, you enter, in your own shock of, oh my god, the priest coming. In the shock of, oh, my best friend just died, you carry the artifact and run away. I was looking at it and I was like, but what was her plan? What was she planning to do with the artifact? And then a she runs into bro. You see now, you ask yourself, why did she do what she did? It does not make sense. Did she know? Did maybe they'll explain it to us in the second book? Though I'm not sure if I'm going to be reading it. I'm too far. I'm not sure if I'm going to be reading it. But maybe they will explain to us in the second book that maybe she had the power of foresight and knew that maybe Hatu, she's a seer, and she knew that she was going to give the artifact to the chosen diviner, because that is the only way what she did would make sense. But as far as we know, she does not have magical powers. So what was she planning when she ran and risked her life, risked getting to die? Because up until the time she was running, nobody knew it was the princess. She was wearing a cloak, guys. So they could have killed her before finding out she was the princess. They could have used their arrow, shot it at her, or stuff like a spear, javelin, whatever, and she would have died before they found out she was the princess. So what exactly was her plan? I want to talk about the, what is it called? The romance. Sorry, what was her plan? Oh my god, the editing here is going to be so horrible. But the thing is, it was just, everybody was just making stupid decisions. Another example is, yeah, and I'm going to mix it with the romance. How the romance is just so poor, and the romance is just a accumulation of poorly made choices. So we have this thing going on with Inan and Zelly. It kind of, first of all, it reminded me of like Zuko and Aang from Avatar, where he was pursuing him so that he can prove something to his father. So that's basically how their relationship was. Sorry, Inan was pursuing Inan was pursuing Zelly to prove something to his father, that he had failed his father when they were in Lagos. And now he wants to show that he can do the job. Though Baba, he fumbles really bad. He fumbles really, really bad. And he hates this girl. That's what we are told in the beginning, that he hates her. Maybe he felt it was something else he was feeling and he thought it was hate. But this is a random girl you don't know. And then he thinks this girl infected him with magic, because surprise. If you want to read this book, Baba, I'm going to, sorry, I've spoiled it already, so nothing much I can do. He finds out he's also a diviner, okay? And it just the romance. Baba tried to strangle her once, and then we just have this thing where Zelly keeps remembering him strangling, and I'm like, bro, do you bro, what is wrong with you? Stop it. Get help now. You should not be proud of that. You should not even tell us something like that as the reader. You should have kept it to yourself. Don't say such nonsense. Why are you consistently lingering on a man strangling you? And that's the thing, but it's not even a man. All of them are children, but the things they were doing that are even me, their auntie have not done. But the romance is like quite questionable in my opinion. There was no real build up. Even people that you expect, the romance was not done right. So I don't know how to write. I don't know how to write romance, and I don't exactly delve into it. If you see romance in any of my work, it's a subplot. It is just there for like, okay, it was there, maybe like, oh, just because I'm writing actual human beings, and human beings we kind of like breed romance, like we have to have one person shall have to have a romantic relationship. Well, I know how to read romance, and I tell you, whatever was going on in that book was not romance, guys. Just take it from me. Just take it from me. And another thing that was just did not just do for me was the word building. Like the author did not explain anything. Like, bro, even I'm pretty sure I've not read Percy Jackson and the Olympians. I might read it though. I might read it very soon. But I'm pretty sure even as renowned as Greek mythology is, Rick what's his name? Rick Giordani would have given some sort of exposition or something as popular as Greek mythology. Then when they now gave you something as niche as Yoruba mythology, and then you just drop things that even me, I'm Yoruba, I'm struggling to know what it means. Like that Ibawi, I don't know what it is. As I even asked my mother, maybe it's me that my own Yoruba is not advanced. I asked my mother, actually she did not know. She did not explain to her, okay, we just know that Otis is the divine. But how? Where? So many things were just like, oh, you have to rely on context clues. Like there was no just take it like that too. Just take it. She just used hero, and hero was glittering. You don't If you don't know what hero is now, you think maybe it's headgear or top or something. When hero is basically wrapper, bottoms that will not even show for to be glittering in the first place. So that's it. Okay, that's not all. So I also want to this last segment, second to last segment, is basically we're talking about the kind of the issues that I saw in the book that the book raised or just kind of spoiled in me, because I said that writing is an art, and any form of art, no matter how it is, if it is supper. I'm not saying this book is supper, please don't come and implicate me. But even supper has would have a question that it is raising. Art should raise questions, basically. And this actually gave me a lot of things to think about. So first of all, I want to talk about how this book really relied heavily on oppression, and it is not actually out of the ordinary because this is written by a black person, a black individual, a black woman, and it was written at a time when there was serious subjugation and racial stuff like that America is even still recovering from. Yeah, like you can just sit in America, like they are suffering from that thing seriously. I will still talk about that if I will. And so there are some things that really stood out to me, but my own opinions might not tally with what the author was thinking. So the first thing I noticed was how there's this hatred and discrimination, how it's exhibited as just deep rooted. So now, if you've not read the book, let me just give you a rundown. So we have the person that I said that is like Zuko, and he finds out like in the book that he is what he hunts. I want to remember what is that Shakespeare. You are the monster you hunt. Somebody should remind me. So he found out it was the monster he hunt. Basically, his father has trained him his whole life that diviners, oh no, yes, diviners are rubbish, scum, disgusting, bloodthirsty, cold-blooded people. And then he finds out he's all those things. But not because he's a diviner, but because he's his father's son. That's just me saying rubbish. But yes, so he finds out he's a diviner. So all the things his father hates, he quite literally embodies it. And he tries very hard to hide this throughout the whole this thing, even to the point of like killing himself. Like I won't say kill, but like to the point of letting himself suffer like greatly. And I'll say that to me, Inan was the most compelling character, even though he also made very stupid choices. And when his father, first of all, his father's mistress finds out, and his father finds out at different times, mind you, and their their reactions were depressing, disappointing. And I guess okay, maybe because they're on the villain side, but the way it was, it didn't feel real. It just felt like, oh, it's a villain. Villains do All villains do, they're just bad people. Because you are telling me your son that you raised and you've literally bred that sounds weird. That you've literally groomed to be king. You find out that he's this thing and he's trying to explain to you that dad, oh wait, listen, and you just kill him and say you are not my son. with this thing. Like, bro, is it really like that, or is it just that I'm just around angels, and even people that I think are mean are just low key angels, and other people are straight up demons? Because it just felt there was nothing felt real. It just felt like, oh, this man is pure evil, so take it like that. There was no sign of maybe turmoil, okay, maybe there was disgust and I've forgotten, but there was no kind of, the man just had that resolve, because this man was literally creating a paradox. Like, he killed his own family. He killed his own family when he literally hates diviners because they killed his family. Like, bro, what exactly do you want? And then he also wants to kill his daughter. Like, he just felt so stupid. Like, because this man's whole character, this innovation, I mean, character motivation was just, maybe it was just to eat magic, and he was really dedicated to that. Bro, it just felt so stupid. It felt so, nobody, it's just like, how in the real world is it really like that? That okay, race is not something that, and as in race you can't exactly hide race. But let's say, okay, for example, now I have to put it out there that I might have disparate views about homosexuality, but we've seen stories of very conservative people, and then their children are coming out to them, and they don't straight up. I don't know, maybe the ones that are doing it, they were not caught, but I've not seen anyone coming out to their parents, and their parents are straight up like killing them. Like, bro, you didn't even start with like imprisonment, tranquilizing him. You just went straight to death. Bro, your son, your flesh and blood. It just felt so like that hatred. And even Zele, the main character, she also seems to engulf with hatred. The book is just filled with hate. I didn't like the message overall. I don't like the message overall. And another message I didn't like was the fact where, so we have this part where there's a place where, as I've said, the diviners have been oppressed by the Cosidans. I won't even say the Cosidan, because they're actually good Cosidan people. They're just living their lives, okay? Like, it's not every Cosidan that's going out of their way to oppress and destroy every diviner they see, right? But I have to this one. But then the diviners have faced oppression. Nobody is even going to talk about that. Oh, they have not faced oppression. They faced oppression. So in this scenario, we now have like um the two Poseidon people were kidnapped by a group of diviners, and they were tortured, like proper tortured. Like, this girl was saying, I'm not lying, no, I'm not lying, no. They did not answer. They just kept on torturing them. And then they later find out that, oh, you guys tortured these poor innocent people for no reason, and they were innocent, and they were saying the truth the whole time, but they didn't care to listen because of your prejudices. English is hard. And then they were apologizing, because as they should, like, you almost killed somebody. You just, it was actually like low-key cruel, because they would torture this boy to the inch of his life because they had a healer. So they would torture him till like Baba was broken, have a healer heal him, and then torture him again. Like, that was just pure evil. And then what does the sister of this boy say? She says, I'm sorry, I'm coming. I have to bring this thing out so that I will not be as familiar. Ah, I can't find it, but it was something along the lines of, how can I blame them? Something, even our gods, like, bro, they did that to your brother. They did that to your brother, and you're saying the gods won't be angry. Like, your gods are pretty racist, though. I don't want to say that kind of god. And that's the thing, because you know that if it was like a considered person that did it, all hell will break loose. Nobody's going to hear. Like, the half of the old book, Zelly was 18 on Amari because she was a princess. Like, she was just hating on her, like, oh yeah, you have privilege, so like, shut up. Like, you didn't grow up poor, so like, I don't want to see you smile at me. Like, I should just kill you. Like, this girl literally attempted to kill her because she was the king's daughter. So it just felt, and then she was just like, oh yeah, I can, attempted murder. I mean, I can do it. I'm a diviner. She's a Poseidon, for that matter. She's the king's daughter. I think I'm allowed to almost kill somebody. Like, bro, what message are we sending that, okay, I think a particular group of people can do this particular kind of thing if they have been like that? We should teach love. You should teach love. And that's why you see many kind of people perpetuating ideas that, oh, black people can't be racist. Bro, I'm Nigerian, okay? No, the thing is, I find myself as an African first before a black person, because I don't really like vibe with identity politics like that. But still, I know black people can be pretty racist. Like, I know, I won't say racist though, we are very, in Nigeria, tribalistic, okay? But we can't be discriminatory. So what do you mean black? Is it like, okay, in our blood it is impossible? Like, who is perpetrating all these things? And it's just sad, because you're like, bro, that is not a nice message to spread out. Oh, because we've suffered, we can also perpetuate that suffering in the world. I mean, I see that so much. The diviners, even though they are fictional people, they suffered a lot. Like, it was devastating. It was not cute for me to read. I was like really sad. I didn't cry. I easily cry for stories, but I didn't cry because I didn't really care for the characters. That was just, it didn't seem real to me. They were making stupid decisions the whole time, and I was like, bro, you should have died sooner. So forgive me. So I didn't really care for them, but I felt like, oh my god, this is just such a sick thing to do. In so many places, I was just like, this is sick, this is sick, this is sick, this is sick. But that does not give them a pass to do the things like, and I get that they apologize, but the statement Zelle is made. That's the thing. I don't like Zelle for anything. I don't like Zelle. I don't like her. I don't like her. I can make a video essay on her that I don't like her, and to be longer than this video, guys. So just leave it at that. So now we're nearing the end. Oh my god, this thing is like about an hour, but what's cut some things. So there are some things that people, some readers were talking about that they didn't like, so and so, and me, I kind of like in the author's defense, because it seems like I've been hating on her since, but guys, no. This is just like, I'm being objective. So some people are talking about how they didn't like the author giving the black characters European air, and I don't think it's a problem, because if you notice, like me in the when Zelle, the main character, gets when the main character gets her powers, her hair starts curling. So it's kind of like the author was saying something like about how black hair is actually magical, and then the reason why it's curly, I find it a bit corny, it's kind of a cringe, but I see where she was going, and I think it's cute. The second one is, the second thing is, people are talking about how the various POVs, narrating sides, were kind of unnecessary, and I don't think they were unnecessary, because they kind of gave us really good takes, voices. In a way, it kind of felt authentic, though not too authentic because of their stupid choices. They didn't feel real because of their stupid choices. I think Inan was my favorite. He actually like had a lot of self turmoil. He was he gave an interesting story, and I liked it. People were saying Zelle just existed. Zelle was interesting. Zelle was interesting, and she gave me a break. I said Zelle. Sorry, Amari was interesting. Sorry, people were saying Amari was this thing was basically redundant. She was not redundant, so she gave me a break from Zelle. I didn't like Zelle. Zelle was, oh my god. Zelle, I don't like Zelle, guys. In case you've not noticed, I don't like Zelle. So that brings us to the end of the review. I'm so sorry that I kind of lost my chill at the end, but thank you. This YouTube channel is Everything Everywhere with D. If you enjoyed this YouTube video and you think, okay, this girl actually has potential, I vibe with her, please subscribe. Or not, it's a free country, you can do whatever you want. Please subscribe. If this video finds, because this is my first YouTube video, and it might be very cringe, but you know that something must have happened for you to get to the algorithm. The algorithm has a reason why it's made to. So just subscribe, and you can hit the notification button. You can say not if it's too. You can do whatever you want. And basically, if you want to know, on this channel, I plan on talking about a lot of things. I'm a big literature girl. I do anime, mangas. I won't say mangas. I'm more of a manhwa girl. Korean comics, if you want the answer. And books, movies, social commentary, political commentary, and stuff like that. And then my very, very, kind of like my number one rule for this channel. I'll say my rule, but what I kind of want to champion is critical thinking. So obviously, I don't even think I'm that big for people to just be swallowing my words verbatim and then be vomiting them at some random debate or fight with their friends. I want to encourage critical thinking. I want you to get the full information, and then we should now encourage this thing is going for them, like friendly, civil conversation and debate. Thank you if you made it to the end of this video. If you endured to the end, I'm so grateful. I'm thankful, and I hope to see you again in the next video. Bye.